Welcome, George. It feels like I just saw you earlier this morning. Welcome back, and this is our first ever Coast to Coast Pick 5 seminar. So before we introduce our normal guests, our weekly guests, Georgie, why don't you explain a little bit what we're going to be going over in the next half hour or so?
Well, everybody's excited about this new wager, and the best way to find out all the details is to go to santanita.com/coast. And when you get to Coast, it'll give you a description. What we're going to do is we're going to have 5 races from Gulfstream Park in Santa Anita every Saturday and Sunday. It's just a $1 minimum, which a lot of people love that it's a dollar minimum. The takeout is only 15%, which is fantastic. And if nobody hits the pick 5, it carries 100% to the next Coast to Coast pick 5 the next day. There's a lot of great promotions right there on the santanita.com/coast, like free PPs from the Daily Racing Form, free trip notes. Also, you're going to get a free $10 bet on First Bet Express Bet if you opt in. So just a plethora of ways to have fun with a bet that's going to be a fan favorite.
Yeah, Gino, welcome, by the way. And it's a great way to start the card tomorrow. The weather's shaped up nicely here and full fields as expected in these in the pick 5 wager.
What a massive Saturday too. You have the debut of this Coast to Coast wager, which will be every Saturday and every Sunday. You have a rainbow pick 6 mandatory at Santa Anita, also going to be a mandatory payout tomorrow. The pick'em contests are back and rolling at Santa Anita tomorrow. Free opportunity to win $500 on Saturday and on Sunday. It's like there's so much going on. There's a lot of action out there. It's the final week of the NFL, so there's a lot of NFL tie-in in those pick'em contests, and we got the college football final coming up in the next few days. Just a really fun buzz, and it's like we really feel the good racing coming up for the next few months at Santa Anita. I'm pumped. This is going to be a lot of fun taking swings at this pick 5 each and every day.
Yeah, seminar Skip. I know you're used to looking at Gulfstream as well, and of course we all look at Santa Anita. And Zenyatta was with you back there. Is she still in the background?
She still is.
There she is.
There's Zenyatta. All right, joining us for the seminar. She's fired up. Are you ready to go there, Skipper?
I'm ready to go. I'm in his room, so she's having me, in her room for a little while. So hopefully we can get through this and she'll behave herself.
All right, so let's get right to it, gentlemen. Actually, the first leg is the 9th race at Gulfstream Park, which is a $100,000 stake race, the Ginger Brew, a mile on the turf. Skipper, why don't we start with you and Zenyatta here? What are you thinking here in the 9th, the first leg of the all-new Coast to Coast Pick 5?
I'm going to use a few in here. You got to use the 3, the favorite coming out of the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. But I got a sneaky good long shot in here that's got a great replay, and that's the 5. The replay on this horse was lights out. It had a great gallop out. Maybe it's a little overclassed, but I don't know. It definitely is going to be on my ticket. It's 12-1. I love that Jose Ortiz is getting aboard. The Chad Brown, we don't know how good that one is coming in from France. More than likely, I'm going to have to put that on the ticket because he does very well with these types. And I'm going to also put Navy Goat. This horse is coming at one on the turf at Kentucky Downs. And they tried the Tapeta at Gulfstream Park. But this horse won on the grass, should like the grass. Again, going back to it, it costs $450,000. Rosario jumps aboard. I got to use Navy Goat. And then the other horse I want to use is Erna. This horse has showed a lot of gameness. Goes to the front, battles back. That first race, it got beat a neck. But this horse, she did not believe that she lost because right after the wire, she was right back in front. I think she galloped out by 4 or 5 that day. And last time, it looked like they were going to come and catch her, and she just fought them off. She's very game through the stretch. She wants to beat you. So, like I said, I'm going to use the 3. You got to use it because of the class, but I'm not sold on that horse. The 5 is my sneaky good long shot. I'm going to use the Chad Brown, Navy Goat, and Erna to start off this pick 5, which I'm really excited about.
Gino, all right, so Skipper's going 5 deep in here. What are your thoughts in the first leg?
what's funny about this, the 2 Isabel Alexander is a horse I gave out on your guys' show a few weeks ago, and I was very high on her going into the race. She was in the very same race with the 5 Stephanie's Charm. I think you really want to use both of them. They honestly both had compromised trips and just slightly different trips. Isabel Alexandra was close up, was on the inside, was just behind the leader, and all of a sudden ends up going from like right behind the leader. The horse to her outside got in front of her and then pushed her back. And all of a sudden she shuffled back and she's like 3.5 lengths back. She lost all this positioning on the inside, and she's looking for room. She's got nowhere to go, really. Still searching for room late. She's up on the heels of the rival. What ends up happening is the 5, Stephanie's Charm, is down on the inside. She's traveling well. She's pinned. She gets in traffic. She gets shut out of a spot. She comes rolling late, and when she rolls up, it sort of ignites Isabel Alexandra even more, too, and she kind of kicks into another gear. But what's funny is I don't think either one of them got the best of trips, and their jockeys actually flip-flop, which is kind of hilarious because neither one of them got the greatest trips on the other horse, so maybe they can do a better job with the other one. I think they're both horses to use. I'm going to use both of them in the pick 5, probably along with 1 or 2 other obvious, but those were the horses I really wanted to mention in here, both Isabel Alexandra and Stephanie's Charm.
All right, we're going semi-deep here. Georgie, what are the numbers saying? What are you looking at? Anything to add in this race?
Yeah, I mean, this sequence is. I actually thought it was really, really tough. So it's going to be a challenging sequence, and I'm going to use a couple of tickets, and one of them I am going to try to single Cairo Consort. I mean, it's just you're coming off a couple of grade 1s, really strong efforts in both of them. The thoroughgraph numbers are solid. Todd Pletcher goes to Irad Ortiz. So I'm definitely singling Cairo Consort. And then the other one, man, there's a plethora of horses to use. I'm even using Showgirl Lynn B. Showgirl Lynn B. Bob, Bob Hess just won a race today. Goes to Imogen, Mr. Wilson is coming into town. So I like that one. I like Anna Karenina. It's just either a spread race or a single. And even the outside runner, I think that Skip mentioned, Erna's got some really strong thoroughgraph numbers as well. So one ticket, I'm going to single Cairo Consort. And other ones, I'm going to go as spread as I can.
All right, so it looks like we're kind of in unison here. It looks like a spread race to start things off, and those Gulfstream races, we're probably going to have full fields every week, and we might get some prices kind of adding to the mix here. All right, Gino, we'll start with you in the second leg, which is race 4 at Santa Anita. We're going down the hill. And is Thornhouse a possible single? You got a single somewhere. What say you, Gino, in the second leg?
I'm not going to single here. I'm going to use, along with Thornhouse, maybe one other, the 5 4 flag. I like quite a bit cutting back here down the hill. This is a horse who overall some people may look at, maybe dismiss because 1 for 14. These are the types of horses who usually do well down the hill. Horses who maybe don't really have a home in other spots, right? They make the short sprints are a little too short. Maybe going long is maybe a little too long. This is the kind of trip that should hit this horse right between the eyes. He's actually got some speed going long, but he can come from off the pace if he has to. He's only sprinted twice in his life. One of them was on the synthetic at Arlington in his career debut, totally irrelevant. The other time was on the straight 6.5. And we talk about this every week. That turf, that course plays out way different. Like if you don't get a good start or good positioning there, you're done. Like you don't make up more than a couple lengths on that 6.5 or even on the 6 usually. Down the hill, it's really fair. Like you can win from anywhere, inside, outside, whatever kind of trip you get. So I think 4 flag is really interesting. Johnny V jumps aboard. The last 2 races are 2 of the better races also. I like this one on the cutback. I'll definitely be using it in the pick 5.
Yeah, Georgie, we talk about that quite a bit, and we all do. The horses routing, showing speed and cutting back, but any horse that routes cutting back, it seems more of to favor those horses going down the hill. Like Gino said, completely different than the 6.5 straight here at Santa Anita.
Yeah, I love those angles. I love if somebody showed speed going 2 turns. Just love the fact that they hit 6.5 furlongs. Usually do really, really well. So can I steal a line from Dave Weaver? And you too, Chappie, you use this line. The 3 Thornhouse, chuck him. What do you guys say?
Chuck him out.
Chuck him out. He is not the goods. And so many people are going to be using Thornhouse and maybe even singling Thornhouse. Let me tell you what, that last race on the turf was just such an incredible disappointment to me. Had every right to win that. On paper, looked like he couldn't lose, looked outstanding, and he barely got second. I mean, you look at the winner beat him easily. He was right there, second, third, fourth. They were like a neck away. They were all right there. Thornhouse is not that strong. The 2 that I'm going to be using is 4 Flag for sure with the cutback. And we've seen that angle so many times, a winning angle. And on Thorograph numbers, the best Thorograph numbers consistently by far are by a runner who's never even been in the money on the grass. But his grass races have been spectacular. Joe Don Looney. Joe Don Looney has got speed. He goes from an apprentice to Pratt. Oh my goodness. I Joe Don Looney, I love his chances big time.
All right. So Skipper, George is obviously excited about Joe Don Looney, and he's chucking out Dave Weaver on Thornhouse. Are you using both, or what are you looking at here?
You know, I'm not going to use Joe Don Looney. I'm chucking Joe Don Looney, right. Chucking him out. You know, I'm going to use the 2, 12-1 Smile for Glory. I like the breeding on this horse. Bench Glory has thrown out a couple winners, and they like the grass. I know it ran first time at Santa Anita over the turf, got beat 4.5 lengths, and actually Queen's Code beat it. But I like that race at Los Al. They gave it a little time. They brought it back. It won nicely. I'm going to use that horse on my ticket. I'm not sold on Thornhouse either, but I will use Thornhouse. I'm using 4 Flag, like Gino said. I think this horse will like coming down the hill. And that was a good race. Doc Adams came back. I think it's won once or twice since then. Doc Adams has won, I think, 3 or 4 in a row. And my other sneaky long shot that, you know, not real long shot, but it's 8-1 is Press On, the 6 horse. First time out back in March, it ran third, beat 8 1/4 lengths. But the horse that beat it that day was Fast Buck. Fast Buck ran lights out that day. Just went to the front and just kept going. Look at the time. 55-2. That's horse race time right there. They gave it time. They brought it back in December, and it won gamely. It dug in. I love horses that show gameness and fight. They want to beat you. So I'm using the 6 also. The only other one that I might add on the ticket is the 10 Moose Mitchell. Breaking from the outside like that. It hasn't won on the grass, but this horse could get a good trip from that outside post there.
I believe, Fast Buck broke from the rail that day, right, and went wire to wire.
Yes.
I'm trying to think of the trainer, and I'm blank. It used to be a jockey.
Yeah, it was. It's on the tip of my tongue.
I can picture the horse. We'll get back to it. We're going to take a look at the sequence real quick here, so everybody can get an idea. So there you have it. The graphic there. First leg 110 Pacific, and
Cesar D'Alba.
Cesar D'Alba. Very much, Gino. Yeah. So there's all 5 legs, and it's going to be fast and furious. The first coast to coast pick 5 every Saturday and Sunday. $1 bet, 15% takeout. You can't beat it. So this should be exciting for tomorrow and to move forward. All right. So I guess who do we start off with next at Gulfstream 11? That would be Georgie. We're a maiden special weight, 7.5 on the turf, George. This looks like a wide open affair. What are you looking at here?
So yeah, whenever I study and put in all kinds of work, and I know what I'm doing, and I study and I study and study, and then a trainer says, "Hey, I really like my horse," and I drop everything. I go, "Oh, the trainer likes him." This is such a schmuck. I always fall for this, but apparently the assistant trainer really likes One Fast Dream. Assistant trainer says that this colt is really, really fast. Is going to live up to his name. and been working well. I haven't seen any of those works, obviously, but they tipped their hat by naming Rosario aboard. It really is a race that nobody has shown any kind of tremendous ability. So, in a race where it's either wide open or you're single somebody, and I know the Sire Always Dreaming is not really a turf. It's like 1 for 55 or something like that, but the trainer loves them, and or the assistant trainer loves them. The workouts have been good, and in a field where it really looks like it's going to set up for a firster, I'm going with One Fast Dream.
Well, if One Fast Dream wins, we know that there'll be 87 people in the winner's circle because it's a My Racehorse horse.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Skipper, what were you thinking in this race?
I was going to single Hardy's Choice. I've been on this horse the last 2 times. They gave it a race at Ellis Park, but I was hoping that they would put this horse on the grass and stretch it out. And they did at Keeneland. It broke from the rail, showed speed, and just got tired, just kind of flattened out. Last time they took it back with Leparoux, and it came flying and looked like it was going to win this day. Turning for home, mid-stretch, he goes to cock his left-hand stick, and the horse ducked out. It shied away from the whip. Once it did straighten out, it finished nicely and galloped out well, but I'm gonna spread in this race. I'm gonna go light at the end because either I got a single here, which I'm not sold. That shows, the horse showed that it still got some greenness, and I'm not sold to single horse like that. I got to use the 12 Jamestown. Last time that race was scheduled for the turf, they took it off because of the weather or something. They put it on the Tapeta. I throw that race out. Now they stretch it out. This horse is bred top and bottom for the grass. I don't like the 12 hole, but I'm using it. I'm going to use the 11, the first-time starter of Mendelssohn. They paid $150,000 for it. This horse hasn't missed a beat in the morning with Tyler Gaffleone. I'm going to use the 9. My long shot here is the 8, My Sanctuary. This horse has got beat 13 and 15 and a half lengths. It looks terrible on the form. That first race at Keeneland wasn't as bad as it looks. The horse that won came back to win again. That was a key race, and this horse had trouble that day. Then they tried to shorten it up and put it on the dirt at Churchill Downs. I'm glad they're stretching it back out and putting it on the grass. It gets first-time Lasix. My Sanctuary is going to be my long shot. I'll use one Fast Dream because Georgie said the trainer liked it, or the assistant trainer. And the other one I'm going to use is Mooncat.
That's my single.
Mooncat?
I'm singling Mooncat. I gave Mooncat out on your show on Christmas Eve. The race was supposed to be on the turf. It was taken off the turf. Mooncat ran very, very well on the synthetic going long. Took up early, had to settle. Was taken way farther back than they wanted. It was about 8th, like 5 or 6 off of it, and then tipped to the 2 path and got stuck in traffic again. Was loaded, wanted to go like 2 different times, finally ducked down to the inside, moved all the way up right into contention, but the winner, dude in Colorado, went wire to wire, and there was no passing in that race at all. Now this horse gets on the turf. He's a son of Fantacola, who we remember out here from in Southern California. Fantacola was very good on the turf. In fact, she won when she tried the turf for the first time. She was a 5-time winner on the turf. She was a grade 2 winner, and she was grade 1 placed. The only other sibling that she's produced has also won on the grass. And after that race, look who jumps aboard for career start number 2, Irad Ortiz Jr. I think it's go time for Mooncat getting a chance to get on the turf. I wouldn't be shocked if this horse opens up at like 5-2 or 2-1, like super, super live. I think I'm going to play one ticket where I single the Mooncat.
Mooncat with Irad Ortiz jumping aboard. So that's Gino's single. Let's move on to the 4th leg. Skipper, is Alice Marble a single, or are we spreading in this race?
No, I'm going to single, and it's not going to be Alice Marble. It's going to be Eddie's New Dream. I like this horse a lot. It comes out of the grade 1 matriarch, but you look on the form, all the races that ran against Cowbred, it got beat by Legs Galore, who went wire to wire that day. Nobody was going to beat Legs Galore. And the Irish O'Brien won by a nose. Now, this horse never wins by much, but it will. It has that fight and wants to beat you, but it's never going to win by more than a half length ahead. It just kind of wants company, but it's got that fighting spirit in it also. Then it ran in the Solana Beach. It got beat ahead. Then it comes back, and he ran in the Cal Distaff, and he won by a half length, and he beat Legs Galore that day coming down the hill. I love Eddie's New Dream. The horse is training good. Ben Cecil's got this horse on go. It loves the distance. It loves the downhill. That's my single.
Georgie, I know you were a big fan of Eddie's New Dream as well. Are you going to add anybody into the mix in the fourth leg, race 6 at Santa Anita?
Yeah. I'm using the 3, 5, and 6. So Eddie's New Dream is my top pick. I like Eddie's New Dream. The thoroughgraph numbers are much better than Alice Marble, but Alice Marble, for whatever reason, gets more press, gets more publicity. But Eddie's New Dream, that last race, way overmatched in the Grade 1 matriarch. So she's coming back to a race here, on Cal Cup Day. It's a state bred race, much easier competition. Certainly like her. I'm not a huge fan of Mario Gutierrez. That's the only thing that's a drawback. He's just not my favorite. He makes too many mistakes. So Alice Marble's got a chance. I think Taming the Tigress has got a chance. Our friend Lee Barrocio, I respect him, and he just claimed this one. And the last 2 races have been ultra fast for Taming the Tigress. So I'm throwing that one in as well.
And Gino, who else for the good of the game? Who else are you using in here?
Well, what makes this race a little difficult, and so when you look at this race, just who's going to get the lead? Like, who's a speed horse in this race? The 2 isn't really even a speed horse. The 2 was just sent by Dettori last time out. That horse isn't like consistently a speed horse. I'd love to see them go and get aggressive with the 2 again, but who else are we sure is going to be on the lead in here? Nobody, really. Right. I think Alice Marble is probably going to be pretty close, stretching out from that 5 furlong race. I think she'll be really close. But the 6 Taming the Tigress is actually a horse whose versatility I love, and I think you have to use. Now, look at this mare overall. Look at her recent form. She's behind Fun to Dream, who just came back to win the Grade 1 La Brea against Open Company. Look at 3 starts back who she's behind. Awake at Midnight and Fun to Dream. Who did Fun to Dream beat in the La Brea? Awake at Midnight. They ran 1-2 in the Grade 1 race against Open Company. And Taming the Tigress looked like she's perked up a little bit in her last couple starts. And Vasquez is actually a very good aggressive rider. Like, he got aggressive with her last time out. If he chooses to get aggressive with her again, she might be on the lead in here or sitting very close to it. I think in a pick 5 situation, I've got to throw her in the mix. And so I'll have a lot of 2, 3, and 6s on my ticket. I think combinations of those 3.
Yeah, it was very interesting the last time, like you said. The 2 had shown no speed, and Frankie Dettori jumps aboard, and they completely changed tactics.
Yeah.
You got to think from the 2-hole they're going to send again, right? Especially because it worked down the hill.
Yeah,
but that was completely against that horse's profile, switching from Mario to Frankie Dettori, which is very interesting.
I wish George would tell us how he really felt, though.
Anchors away, my boys, anchor.
All right, we go to the final leg of the day. I'm going to throw in a couple horses here to lead us off. And I know where George is going here, but clearly the horse to beat is Sell the Dream. Ran second to Comanche Country, who's a graded stakes winner, ran in the Breeders' Cup, cast member, certainly has not ran on the turf, but as the breeding and is a very talented horse. The horse I'm very interested in is the 1 Carol Lombard, stepping up for sure, but at 8-1. If you watch that replay, that horse won with ease, had plenty in reserve, and I think is going to move forward again, Gino. I see you and Skippy shaking your head. And I think at a price, this is a very interesting horse in here.
She probably should get the same trip, right? She could just save all the ground from the inside, just sort of wait, and then just hope to kind of tip out and then get going. Like, she really did visually look good. She got a perfect trip, but that's the kind of trip I'm hoping she can work out again for herself. So, yeah, I agree with you. And then the only other one that I thought would be worth mentioning maybe would be the 7, Quickly Park It, who did have some trouble in that race last time out, was in the Jimmy Durante last time. Those first 2 turf races were very good at Del Mar and then up at Golden Gate, then faced and actually beat Open Company in one of them, again faced Open Company last time out and really just got a slow start and then was in a bad spot for a lot of the race. And now you get Hernandez jumping aboard for the third start of the form cycle. So I'll probably be throwing this one in the closeout leg as well. I'll have some 7s.
Skipper, anybody to add in this leg?
No, I like those. I knew you were going to mention the 1. I think the 1's got a big shot in here. I like that horse an awful lot. I'm also going to use a 7 and then maybe a little bit 8 and 9, but I like 1 and 7 best. I like the prices. I'm going for it. I think this thing's going to pay really nice first off the board, and hopefully we all could hit it. We're playing a little bit different. Gino, my single, Gino didn't even use. So.
Yeah. And then my single was probably the last one that you mentioned out of about 5 or 6 in that race.
Right.
So it's challenging. And what looks nice, at least as of right now, it doesn't look like there'll be any more rain. We're recording on Friday evening right now, and it looks like until I think Tuesday here in Southern California, we probably won't have rain, and then next week we'll get more. But we should be pretty good. Fingers crossed for tomorrow. A lot of these races staying intact.
Yeah, right. It looks like we lucked out, Georgie, and I will probably take the big swing in single Carol Lombard, by the way, just to finish it out at that price. George, I think you're towards the bottom 2, correct?
Yeah, I love Carol Lombard, the actress in My Man Godfrey, but I don't like the filly at all, not even a little bit. But boy, I like Carol Lombard. I tell you that, she was beautiful. But that one's got Chuck. That one's Chuck, and she's out of here. Sell the Dream and cast member. They just, to me, they're head and shoulders above the rest of the group here. Sell the Dream already proven on the grass. And proven against some top, flight runners, and cast members undefeated. She's certainly bred for the turf, no question about it. They got the 2 spectacular jockeys. They're both daughters of Munnings, who that sire's been fantastic. But certainly, one of those 2 I think is going to win. And I don't forget to get that. We talked about. I looked at the PPs. I looked at the Reeks replay. To get Benny South Street's that Trip Note Pros, that's really imperative, and it's it's free. So take advantage of it.
All right, gentlemen, that was the seminar. Look, it looks like we're all thinking this should pay very well.
Yes,
I love everybody's got a different opinion, a different single, but I think we kind of summed it up. George, just go over real quick. There's so much tomorrow that we have to look forward. First of all, first post noon, and Georgie, just let everybody know everything we have to offer before we sign off.
All of the executives now at Santa Anita are fined. There was a suicide watch for a few of them, but nobody hit the single ticket on the pick six. So a lot of the executives are fined now. Thanks for asking. But we do got that monster carryover mandatory payout. It's probably going to hit $3 million. The pick six sequence is phenomenal. So get involved there. Definitely go to santanita.com/coast because you're going to get so many free things. You get the free Trip No Pros, the free past performances from the daily racing form. We're going to give you a $10 free bet on first bet. It's $1 minimum, 15% takeout. If nobody hits it, it gets carried over. It's just a wonderful wager. I can't wait to be a part of it. And it's Cal Cup Day. Just a great day tomorrow.
Full fields and stake races and plenty of good bets. And like Gino had said, looks like we got lucky with the weather we had earlier in this week. It's amazing it's going to turn out how it is. So, gentlemen, thank you so much. Good luck, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
Good luck, everybody.